Good morning, everyone. It's Luke Ducklow, and today I am coming at you with something a little different, something that's been on my mind lately, and something that I have helped myself or that God has helped me kind of get over or to work through, and that is getting over the past. So, if you're like me, sometimes you have a tendency to ruminate on the past or to think that if certain things would have went differently in the past, my life would be better. My life would be different. My life could have been this up here. And I have a couple of those examples that happened to me in my personal life. One was I remember quitting football after the ninth grade season that our team had went undefeated. I was a good player. I wasn't sensational by any means or anything like that, but I was a good player, and I quit my 10th grade year because I didn't really like the coach. But I had always thought, man, if I just would have stuck with it, just would have gotten over that, just would have worked harder, just would have not let that bother me, whatever, I could have played all 4 years of high school, gotten better every year, maybe gotten a scholarship somewhere and played and got free college at a D3 school, whatever. I wasn't a superstar, but I was a good player. So that had always bothered me, and I thought that I almost had felt like I needed to redeem myself in some way. And I thought, well, what if I went back to coach at that high school? Or I always had kind of this romanticized version of that. And last year, for the first time in like 15 years, I took my wife and my newborn daughter to a football game at my old high school, and we went there, and you know what? It was just a regular old high school. And yeah, it was cool to watch. I love football, but it was just a football team. It was a fun game. In my mind, it was like NFL level or something. I had built it up all these years, and I think that exposure helped me to realize that it wasn't as big a deal as I thought it was, and I kind of lost that longing and that feeling of I needed to redeem myself in some way, because I realized it for what it was. I took it for what it was. It was just a regular thing. You know, we all have those. I think we all have those moments in life. Another one that happened to me in life was, so I wasn't exactly the popular kid in high school, or, you know, I wasn't unliked. I was just whatever, regular guy. And I think, you know, secretly we all kind of want to be that guy, the popular kid, the one that everyone likes. And I'd always thought, like, man, if I could go back and do high school all over again, I would be the popular kid because of what I know now, my life experiences, and everyone would like me. I would kind of be the leader. So I didn't go to college right after high school. I worked a few jobs. I did do some trade school and community college. Anyway, I didn't go to university. So about 10 years after high school, I decided to go back to college with the university. So I'm thinking, hey, this is like my chance to almost go back in time, to hop in the time machine, because I'm now about 10 years older than a lot of these kids or so, give or take. And they're going to look up to me, and I don't look like I'm that much older than them. So I get in there and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to be the cool kid. And when I got to know some of these kids, they weren't bad kids, but they weren't my peers anymore. They weren't, it wasn't, we were just at different places in life. The stuff that they would talk about was not stuff that I would want to talk about or I found interesting. Maybe 10 years ago I would have, or been into that, or, you know, the gossipy, or the who is dating who, and just the the complaining stuff that they would bring up. They weren't bad kids by any means. It was just that's the place that they were at in life. So that cured me of thinking that I needed to jump back in a time machine to go and redeem my past. I say all this to say that sometimes in life we can romanticize things. We can build things up that happened in the past. If this would have went differently, then my life would have been better. Now, the most extreme example I can think of this would be the character Uncle Rico in Napoleon Dynamite. And here you have this, guy that's probably like 45, 50 years old, and he's still talking about, if coach would have put me in the fourth quarter, we would have won state in high school. Now, I know it's just a movie and he's just a character, but sometimes we have a tendency to do that, and we probably all know somebody like that does that if just this would have happened, I'd be this. And you know what? It's time to let that go. It's time to move on. You know what? And I want to give you a verse today, Romans 12:2. It says, "Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will." See, a lot of times we can get sucked into what's here in front of us and what would make us better and what would make us happy, but that probably wasn't God's will. And you know what? We may have missed out on a learning moment that needed to happen at that time in our life to make us the person that we are today. So I'm speaking to myself as much as anyone. It's time to let the past go and stop romanticizing it. And just some practical advice that worked for me was just getting a little exposure to that thing that you thought was so important. For me, it was the high school football team and the going back in time to college. For some people, it might be like a relationship, a job that they didn't get or got let go from, a promotion. It can be a lot of things. What is it for you? So that's my word of encouragement for today, to help get over, stop living the past and focus on, all we have is today. All we can really control is what we do today. That's it. We're not even promised tomorrow, and the past is history. Have a great day. Love you guys. See you in my next video.